Hi, I'm Mike Hudson, Director of the Museum of the American Printing House for the Blind. Today our mystery object comes from the 1930s. It's what's called a Beetz Notation Graph. I'm going to open the case up here and get it out. So the Beetz Notation Graph is basically a wooden frame, and then on an inset in the middle of it is a fabric covered cork base. And then there are all these little black metal push pin pieces that are in the shapes of musical notes and the bars of the staff and the clefs and all of the notation that we use in music notation, in print music notation, right? So this was invented by a guy named Charles J. Beetz in the 1930s. Schools for the blind were graduating tons of musicians, and Beetz wanted to make it possible for blind graduates of schools for the blind to be able to teach music to sighted students. And so in order to be able to do that, you had to teach the print music notation method to blind students at schools for the blind, and so that's what this was for. So it allowed you to lay out the notation, to put the notes, to understand their shapes, and then that way a blind teacher could teach sighted students. So you could never imagine a product like this being sold today. It uses these push pins, right? They would probably be considered too sharp. And the printing house realized that, and so after we had been making this product for almost 50 years, we took it into the shop, redesigned it, and it became magnetic. So we have versions in the collection that use all magnets rather than the push pins. But it didn't last very long. By the 1980s, when we discontinued the Beetz Notation Graph, most kids that were blind or visually impaired had stopped going to residential schools and were going to public schools where music was no longer pushed as a real vocational avenue for most blind students. And that reflected a really big culture shift from the early 19th century, early 20th century, when lots of blind kids became professional musicians.